Welcome and welcome back to Get Me a Library. Today we're doing a book tag and it's called 21 Questions. Who it's from, but I'm tagging you guys. So if you did create this tag, let me know so I can write your name here. But if not, then it's just a mystery. But either way, it sounds like a good tag. So I'm going to read what the question is, answer the question, and basically be asking you guys to do it too. Okay, so the first one is, how many books are too many books in a series? Okay, so, I think Alpha Girl is like 9 to 12 books. And to me, oh my God, that's long. They're quite short. So, and the world is quite big, but not as big as some worlds. So I think that it depends on the type of book for it to be too long. I've not read Game of Thrones, but I think that's 9 books. A Court of Thorns and Roses is 3 with the 4th and then 3 spin-offs. So that's going to be quite a big series. But I don't mind it. So I think it just depends on the person. But I would say anything more than 10 books is becoming a bit big. Because a series of unfortunate events is 12 books, and that's not too much for me because they're quite short. So I think it depends on how big the world is, and if the world is dramatically big and there's a lot of power within it and a lot of characters and names and databases and stuff. I mean, Harry Potter itself is massive. The whole world is big. But the fact that there isn't more than what my number is, 10 books, it doesn't seem so big when you're reading it. And also you've got to remember each book size. So I think I'd say anything more than 10. The next one is, how do you feel about cliffhangers? I love cliffhangers, okay? But it depends on the cliffhanger. So when I read The Cruel Prince, The Wicked King had a really big cliffhanger, but we had The Queen of Nothing. So although the cliffhanger was that big, definitely one of my favourite cliffhangers, I knew there was going to be another book. So I knew that although there was a cliffhanger, I was going to have to wait a whole year. I knew that when I got to that year, I was going to get the answer. So I think it depends on the cliffhanger. Again, if it's a cliffhanger that is the end of the series ever, then no, I don't want a cliffhanger. I don't want one. I need to know the answer. I need to know what's going to happen. But if it's going to be another book and I have to wait a year, then yes, give me all the cliffhangers. Intrigued, and I want to read that book so badly, but if it's the end of a series, then no. Hardback or paperback? Always pick paperback. I hate having to carry a hardback with me all the time. Hardbacks are fine if you're at home or if you're just doing a journey and you just have that book in your hand, but I can't carry them. Depending on the book and depending on my pocket, I used to be able to like bend the book slightly and shove it in my pocket for work and just go to work and take the book out and read it as I was walking and stuff. But with a hardback, can't do it. I try and avoid them as much as I can. Depends on the series. Again, I'd love to have all the Court of Thorns and Roses books as hardbacks and I'd love to read them at home. But I have to pick paperback. Next question is my least favourite book. Ooh. This is hard. I'm actually going to have to go on Goodreads for this. Because I don't want it to be a book that I've not read for a long, long time. Because then that, I don't know, I feel like that's not a very good answer. My least favourite book. So I've gone on my Goodreads and the lowest rated book that I've given is called Out of the Blue by Sophie Cameron. I feel like I couldn't get into it. I found the book didn't really tell you about the angels that were falling. I did read the last few pages to see if I could get more out of it. However, that didn't work. I also had to have a look at some other reviews for people to say the same. So I'm sorry, but I couldn't get into the book. So I think that would probably be my least favourite book then, only because I couldn't get into it. And I hate giving bad reviews. I hate saying negative stuff because no matter what the book is or what you thought you didn't like, that person has still spent the time to write that book. So I don't ever want to bash anyone. I think for me personally, I just couldn't get into it. And I do vaguely remember reading it now, only because of the whole angel thing. There was some angels coming down. I can't remember what happens now, it's such a long time ago. But we don't actually find out why the angels were coming down. So I think that would be one of my least favourite books. Sorry. Oh, I hate doing it. I don't like doing it. But yes. Okay, love triangle, yes or no? Yes. But there has to be a winner. So, A Court, Thorns and Roses, okay? Until we realise that Tamlin is... No, Tamlin. We have a triangle with Tamlin, Feyre and Rhysand. Rhysand's going to win. Like, he has to win. He's endgame. And we figure that out in the second book. Unless you really know who Rhysand was and you find out the first book. But you know he's endgame. So the love triangle is alright, because it was Feyre and Tamlin. Then Rhysand came on without meaning to, which created the love triangle. Rhysand won. I don't mind stuff like that. I don't like the love triangle when it's something like Asriel and Elaine and Lucian, because I don't like Elaine. I don't want her to be with Asriel. Asriel's too good for her. And I don't want her to be with Lucian. Lucian's too good for it as well. The more I'm doing my reading vlog, the more I'm hating Nesta, and the more I'm hating Elaine. I'm hating Elaine a lot more than Nesta. So I'm going to have a rant in a second. So I'm not going to do it. But I don't like love triangles when the girl can't decide. And it's a bit like Twilight. It's a bit like Vampire Diaries with Elaine and Bella. I don't like love triangles like that. Someone has to win. I don't mind love triangles, like I said about Court, Thorns and Roses, when you don't intentionally know the guy's going to be there or the girl's going to be there, but you end up falling for them or whatever, but you make the right choice and you pick the right person, or you don't pick any of them. I don't like it when, oh, I didn't know, oh, I don't know, oh, help me. I don't like stuff like that. That's when I draw the line with love triangles. I couldn't be in one. I wouldn't enjoy it. Even if it was like I wasn't the top of the triangle. If I was one of the love interests, I couldn't do it. Most recent book you couldn't finish. I know the name of it. I can't remember what it's called now. I couldn't finish it. What was it? Once Upon a Broken Heart. That was it. I started it. I think I was in a mood where I couldn't get into it. Doesn't mean I didn't like it. I did enjoy the story. However, because it was based from, is it Carnival? Carnival? I think it was Carnival. Yeah, I always think of Carnival and the Night Circus. So Carnival, because it was linked from that, because I knew that, and there was tiny little references from that world, I was like, oh no, I need to read those. So I think because of that, I couldn't finish it. Next one is a book you are currently reading. So I'm currently reading A Court, Thorns and Roses. It's my 4th time rereading it. It'll kind of be my 5th because I've got it on audiobook. Also currently reading Belladonna and Anne Boleyn, and I think that's it at the moment. So they're the ones I'm currently reading. And the next one, the last book you recommended to someone. I think it's going to have to be Court, Thorns and Roses, because it's the book I'm reading now. My friend at work was like, how's it going? So I'm recommending it to her, though she's got like 1,000 books to read. I also brought it for my other friend's birthday back in July, and I also brought it for my other friend who doesn't read, but he has to have the book because it's so good. I've even recommended it to my boyfriend, even though it won't be his thing, but I think he would enjoy it when it becomes a film. So I think A Court, Thorns and Roses has to be the last book I recommended. The next one, oldest book you've read by publication date. I don't know if it would be like a mythology encyclopedia, because the Odyssey as well has been out a lot longer. The version I have hasn't, but it would have to be A Little Princess. The Little Princess, that is my oldest book I own, and publication date of that version I have as well would be the 90s. I don't have it on me right now, it's on my bookshelf at the bottom somewhere, so that would be the oldest book I have, and then it would probably be Alice in Wonderland. The next one, newest book you've read by publication date. That would have to be then Belladonna, because it's the current read that I'm reading at the moment, and it's the newest book from October. Or it would be Stoneblind by Natalie Haynes. So I've got them over there, so I'm kind of like reading them, so I've got my pile. The next one's favourite author. Hands down, it has to be... Oh, this is hard. I was literally going to say hands down it's going to be this person, but no. Alex Lake or Lisa Jewell are very high up there and one of my favourites. I don't know, so I'm thinking about book. So I'm thinking Sarah J Maas, but then that's because of Caught on the Roses, but I haven't read enough of the other ones. I've only read Throne of Glass, so it can't be her. J.K. Rowling's only wrote Harry Potter. Maria V. Sneeder, she would have to be one of my favourites. Or Christina Henry, I've read quite a lot of hers. I can't pick, sorry. Buying books or borrowing books? Both. But I like to own it. If it's my book, I can bend it. I don't have to worry about it. But if it's borrowed, I worry. If it's from the library, doesn't matter so much because they're not in pristine condition. Not that I would deliberately do anything, but it doesn't matter so much if you dog-ear a book. Borrowing, I would be scared. And because I'm anecdoting my books now, if it's a book that I've already read and I don't have it anymore, like, for example, Killing Kate, I read it, lost it, don't know where it is. I lent it to someone and they never gave it back. They lost it, or they gave it away. I don't think they gave it back to me thinking about it now, so they lost it. So when I told my boyfriend about reading these books, he brought it and gave it to me. So it's his book, but it's my book. So I'm borrowing it. It's on my bookshelf to be stored with the other ones, like my collection. So I don't know if that counts as borrowing, but I would have to buy it. Buying would be, or renting it, like on Kindle kind of thing. Renting it? Can you rent it on like Audible, or I don't know, not owning it necessarily on my bookshelf. I would have to buy it. Yeah. A book that you dislike that everyone seems to love. Probably Throne of Glass, you know. So I read the first one. I started the second, like first page kind of thing. I didn't like it, but I am bearing in mind it was her first book. And I think where I read A Court of Thorns and Roses and loved it, my expectations were I was going to love the Throne of Glass series. So that would have to be that one. Yeah. Bookmarks or dog ears? Both. I hate bookmarks slipping out. I hate them sliding. I don't like it. Bugs me. So if it's a good bookmark, but I ain't gonna lie, I do dog ear my books. I don't mind dog earing books. The point of a book to me is to enjoy it and not worry about it being perfect and pristine. Yes, I have some limited editions. Yes, I never deliberately dog ear a certain book like my illustrated Harry Potters. No, because they cost a lot and they're so neat and tidy. But hardbacks are a bit different. Paperbacks, I can be more relaxed with it. So I'd have to say both. A book you can always reread: Caught of Thorns and Roses, Harry Potter, A Touch of Power, Percy Jackson, A Series of Unfortunate Events. I can continue. Can you read while hearing music? No. If I'm sat in the living room reading and there's music playing, yeah. If I'm out somewhere and there's noise around me on the bus, yeah. Personally, headphones in, music, no. I find it hard walking down the road having like a really cool song and not being able to belt it, let alone reading a book about Feyre and Rhysand are in love and then I've got like, you know, Avril Lavigne playing in my ear, Avalanche. No, it doesn't work, can't do it. One or multiple point of views, depends on the book. I've been talking about Court of Thorns and Roses a lot, so we'll go with that. There's a few little moments in the book in, I believe, A Court of Mist and Fury, where you have Rhysand's point of view. I like that because it still favours story, but there's different point of views in it. I like that. When I read a thriller like Alex Lake and Lisa Jewell, they've got different chapters for different points of view. Again, I like that. But I don't pick books for that reason. I like them to be in there without knowing. Do you read a book in one sitting or multiple days? Depends how busy. If I'm not doing anything, I could read 2 books in a day. I've done it before. But it just depends on what I'm doing, and I get very distracted a lot. So if I'm at, I don't know, if I'm at work or something, I can just read, no distractions. But if I get a message from my friend, I have to reply to it straight away. So it depends. It depends on how busy I am. A book you've read because of the cover. I don't know really. A book I read because of the cover. I don't know. I've got books I like because of the cover. Like the one I've got here, which I just saw, Mexican Gothic. That looks a beautiful cover. I wanted to read that, then read the description and brought it. So maybe something like that. I don't really have a book because of a cover that I can think of. That's 20. So yeah, I tag you now to have a go and let me know. I feel like I've just spoken about A Court, Thorns and Roses. It's because it's in my brain. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know your selection down below and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.